Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Make sure to subscribe down below for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh content. Okay, so we've got some cards coming out in the OCG. It's the Valuable Book X promos, and they're supposed to support both the Armed Dragons and the Curse of Dragon archetypes. And I think they're okay, but generally speaking, how relevant they're going to be, not going to be one of those people that's going to be quite jealous, you know, if and when it gets to the TCG, who knows, who's to say, but, you know, it will probably get to us at some point. It says here the Valuable Book X catalogue is going on sale March 19th, and it contains information on cards released over the last year, as well as 2 promotional cards based on Gaia the Fierce Knight and Armed Dragon decks. Okay, so the first card is Curse of Dragon, the Magical Night Dragon. It's a level 5 Dark Attribute Dragon type fusion effect monster with 2000 attack and 1500 defense. Materials: it requires 1 warrior type monster and 1 level 5 or higher dragon type. You can only use this card's name's first effect once per turn. 1. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target 1 spell or trap card that lists the card name Gaia the Dragon Champion and its text in your graveyard and add it to your hand. 2. If you fusion summon a level 7 dragon type monster, you can also use monsters from your graveyard as materials by banishing them. My first reaction to this is it's a little bit of a wasted card. I don't understand its purpose within the deck. Okay, I understand that, you know, summoning it, you know, you could just go for something like Curse of Dragon to bring it out alongside a warrior monster, so Buster Blader or Gaia the Fierce Knights. You know, those are materials that work within the keeping of the archetype and how Yu-Gi uses them. But the first effect, there aren't many cards, you know, spell or traps that Gaia the Dragon Champion in the text anyway. And the ones that are, I don't think there are that many relevant ones. I think there's one which is like the spear version, which gives you the ability to do piercing damage, and then you're able to, say, draw 2 cards and discard 1 from that. Other than that, I can't remember any. It's just not that useful. The second part of the effect is fusion summoning a level 7 dragon type monster. You know, you can use things from the graveyard. I'm pretty sure you can use things anyway. There's a fusion card that works to fuse monsters from your graveyard. I think it's called Dragon's Mirror, and that does just the same without having to bring out some weird dragon type monster. I think it does have a target in the form of instant fusion to bring this out anyway, but how useful this is going to be, it's just questionable. I don't see it being relevant at all. The other card we've got is Pile Armed Dragon. As you are aware, within, I think it was Lightning Overdrive, that we got a bunch of new varied vamp versions of the original dragons. They called Armed Dragon Thunder versions. It's the same concept, and this is just an additional card to add to the puzzle. This is a level 7 Wind Attribute Dragon type effect monster called Pile Armed Dragon. 2800 attack and 1000 defense. You can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. 1. You can send 1 dragon monster that is either Wind Attribute or level 7 or higher from your hand to the graveyard, except this card. Special summon this card from your hand. 2. You can send 1 armed dragon monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, except a Pile Armed Dragon, then target 1 face-up monster you control. You can only attack with 1 monster for the rest of this turn. Also, the target gains 300 attack times the level of the monster sent. From the design of it, it looks a bit like the original Armed Dragon level 7. It's got the same stat lineup, same attribute level, typing. It's basically, do you remember with Ancient Gear Golem, it has another version of it, which has a similar name but a different effect. This is what reminds me of how this card is. It's a perfect comparison. The summoning requirement on this is so easy anyway. If you're using the Armed Dragons, the summoning condition, they're both Wind Attribute and Dragon, and, you know, you can actually do this, you know, there's not a problem. The secondary effect I really love, because even though it does require you to get rid of a card from the hand or deck to the graveyard, actually it's best to use from the deck, because then you're not using resources from the hand. You're then able to make one of your monsters, you know, if you get rid of the Armed Dragon level 10, you're boosting your monster's attack by 3000. That's a lot of damage you could potentially do in that turn, even if you are restricted to only attacking once. If your opponent has something particularly powerful on the field, you're able to overwhelm them with that one attack and then put them in a position where they're having to back off. The concern I have is I would have liked this to have been a quick effect, because then this could have responded to your opponent attacking, not just when you attack. But, you know, it's a special effect, and I don't think they'd like to add too many of these honest style of effects. It's decent, and it's a nice addition to the collection. If you're a Chaz Princeton fan, this is definitely a card you want to